Hello, how are you?
And he is the crew chief of Precious Metal. Tell me about Precious Metal.
Well, she is the only Griffin-powered Mustang in the world. It's a little different than the rest of the Mustangs out here with the Rolls-Royce Griffin and the contra-rotating propellers on it. It's at about 3,000 horsepower. It's a very unique airplane, and like I said, it's the only one in the world.
You know what I love? You called Precious Metal she.
She, yes.
So Precious Metal has a Merlin engine. Why use that over Griffin?
We have a Griffin engine. It's a third larger than a Merlin. It's 2,239 cubic inches, and we use it because we can actually run at lower power settings compared to the other race Merlins out here. So we really don't have to hurt the motor every time we go out.
Nice, works to your advantage?
We're working on it. Everybody thought it was kind of a dead engine program since the Red Baron back in the 1970s, and we've kind of resurrected it in the last 10 years, and we're just trying to refine it and changing propeller designs and tweaking things in the engine and the water system, and just trying to get it to work a lot better. We went 63 miles an hour faster last year just by changing propeller blades.
So tell me about the contra-rotating propeller system.
It's two propellers on a split shaft that have an idler gear in between them. The crankshaft turns the first gear, which then turns an idler gear, then turns the other propeller the other way. The reason we do this is because we have such a large engine, we couldn't fit one propeller on the airplane. It would hit the ground. This also eliminates what's called torque and P factor. The propeller has such a mass to it in size that it always wants to make the airplane, depending on which way the propeller turns, to turn right or left. With the contra-rotating propellers, we eliminate that. It takes a lot of the stress out of the airframe. The pilot has to fly the rudder a lot less on takeoff when you're adding power to it. It also acts as the front propeller grabs the air, and then the rear propeller accelerates it because they're a different pitch of propeller.
Wow.
So it's a little bit more efficient. You don't have to turn the engine as fast because you're producing more thrust.
So do you think it gives you more speed and cool factor?
It definitely gives us the cool factor because it's one of a kind, and it's just really neat. You get a lot of interesting questions about it. As far as the speed goes, we're working on it every year. You try to get a little more and get a little more. As I said before, we changed propeller design last year, and it was quite a step in the right direction as far as the speed of the airplane. So we've gained some speed playing around with the propellers. Now it's just refining the airframe, cleaning it up, making it smoother in places. Yeah, but I definitely think it gives us the cool factor. I mean, it's very sci-fi looking when it's spinning.
Oh yeah, I love it. What about the feathering system?
The only other Griffin-powered Mustang that was out here, the Red Baron, crashed out here in Lemon Valley in 1979. They did not have a feathering system, and what that is it turns the blade angle into the wind. So the blades are at this pitch. If the engine dies, you want those to go into the wind. The Red Baron did not have that, so when the engine quit, they went flat pitch. That's like throwing a 16-foot diameter piece of plywood out in front of the airplane.
Oh, okay.
It acted like a big speed brake, basically.
Yes.
So he was not able to make it back to the runway, and he bellied the airplane out in Lemon Valley. The joke was Steve Hinton, the pilot, who is now our pace plane pilot, said he could have thrown his car keys out the canopy, and the car keys and him were going to land in the same spot.
So tell me about the awesome paint job by Clint Sweet.
Clint he works for a company out in Florida that builds an airplane called the Pitts Model 12. He does all the factory paint jobs for their airplane as they come off the production line. Him and Tom sat down after a great length in an online contest we had for our fans to do a paint job. And I think everybody just kind of went a little too elaborate, and it would have been too difficult to paint some of these contest winners into an actual working paint job. So Tom and Clint sat down for a length of time and tried to figure out something that would look really cool, and we wanted to maintain the precious metal look and the polished paint job. So this is what Clint and Tom came up with, was this peeling metal look, and I love it. I mean, it's the sexy. I've been with the airplane 6 years now.
Sexy.
And 2 owners, and I think it's just it's a sexy looking airplane now.
I couldn't agree more. So was the engine yellow before, and where's it from?
The engine before when I first started with the airplane back in 2004, it was red, and it was out of the Miss Budweiser hydroplane program from the 1970s and 80s, where they used this exact motor to hold, and they still hold the world record for straight line. I think it's 3 kilometer hydroplane record. When they went to turbines, the engines ended up as surplus, and the original builder, Don Whittington of the airplane, bought 3 surplus engines from the Budweiser program. This year we combined the lower end, which is the crankshaft and the crank bearings, with a in-house program that Tom Richard came up with, refining some piston design and valve train design. The stuff that wasn't surviving in the Bud motors, Tom hired a guy out, and then they refined some other stuff, get rid of some weight. Spinning an engine at this much boost, it needs to have stuff kind of lightened up. It's a lot less stressful on the engine and the crankshaft especially.
Okay, so tell me how this year's been.
I think it's been pretty, I wouldn't say stressful. A lot of man hours went into the airplane this year. I think Tom calculated somewhere along the line about 7,000 hours went into the airplane from January until September. And it was airframe refinements, new canopy, new paint job, new wingtips. The wingtips actually were designed by a Reno resident by the name of Eric Ahlstrom from Star Aerospace, and he's a good wingtip guy. It's about all he does. A lot of the fast jets out here run his wingtips, and just refining stuff, finding leaks. And anytime the airplane leaks air into it, when it comes back out of the airplane, it has to be reaccelerated. That's drag. So it slows the airplane down. So that's what we're doing with the aluminum tape here is just sealing up holes for race time.
All right, plans for the future.
Go faster.
Go faster.
Go faster.
Go faster, go home.
Spend the owner's money.
It's amazing.
As fast as we
Michael,
can.
thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You did such an amazing job.
Thank you.